Activision devs do not play their own game. It's not your dad doesn't support you.
You should know, you worked at a coffee shop, you stupid bitch.
My name is Casey, and absolutely not fucking Tanner, because my parents don't hate me that much.
Hey, did they have just 8 patches lined up, but they just didn't release them because they were on break? No, you moron kids.
Then we'll, of course, get into it. Change your fucking name and get scammed. He's feeling under the weather.
I probably won't say another word until Stay Humble, so have a good pod, Raz. I'll be here listening.
Got it. We are live. Welcome, boys and girls, to the Dropshot of Call of Duty podcast, episode number 246.
Maybe? Yeah.
My name is Casey, also known as Razinon.
6.
I am joined. Tanner, are you doing okay?
6. I was copying what you were doing.
Can you try that one more time?
6.
Thanks. Okay. Good thing I run a DSA.
Wait, what? What number are you saying? 246?
246, buddy. Yeah.
Okay.
240. Welcome.
Is it 6?
Welcome
okay.
to the show. I'm so sorry if you're listening to this. I'll edit it out. Today we're doing an episode about Call of Duty. So.
Yeah, it is. Wow, look at that. You were right.
Of course I was right. Before we get into it, I want to talk about a couple things we wanted to do today, but are not going to. Number one was like another public Warzone kind of brainstorm ep. But we just did one on the Patreon, patreon.com/Dropshot, best way to support the program. And it's a little too early, I think, to dip into that. I really wanted to do that today. Excuse me, today. But Tanner was like, it's too early. And he's right, honestly. So, we're not doing that. And then another thing I really wanted to do was that Saturday episode topic idea we had talked about last episode, which was to kind of get all the information we have on Warzone 2 and MW2 and DMZ together and talk about it in its totality. But we wouldn't have had time to prepare for that episode, and it's still, I think, too early, even if we had, honestly. So we're going to do something we've done before today. This is going to be Call of Duty only Q&A. Live Q&A also. So we asked you guys in Discord for some questions. We've gotten some. We asked you guys on Twitter for some questions. We've gotten some. And for everyone here live now in chat, we've already gotten some questions. If you have anything COD related, Warzone, Warzone 2, Vanguard, Black Ops 2, anything related to the
4,
franchise.
COD 4, yeah. Call of Duty 1.
Go ahead and ask it, and we'll answer it. Use Twitch chat if you're here live. Obviously, that would be ideal. And we will get to those. We didn't want to do another regular Q&A episode because we just did one, and we want to keep this thing COD focused.
And there's nothing else to talk about for Warzone
for the next
right
fucking
now.
game. I'm like actually getting excited and antsy, and it's pissing me off that it's not simply out yet. Just release the game. I don't know. It's not that hard. So why hasn't we're going to start with this question, Tanner. This is to you. Why isn't Warzone 2 out right now, Tanner?
Great question. I would rather have Warzone 2 drop right now and be borderline unplayable rather than play Warzone 1 again. That's what I want.
That's kind of where
I want a buggy. I want to be falling through the map. I want my computer to be crashing. I want my GPU to be frying. I'd rather do all of those things and play Warzone 1 again. Yeah. Let's move on finally. I think that's obviously why you're so excited. Is last year before Vanguard came out, Warzone was still pretty fun. Well, it had just hit that spot too where we were sick of the cheaters. It was riddled with cheaters. That was one of the low points of COD, of
absolutely
Warzone.
Low points, giga low points, yeah.
One of the lowest points. But it was still like fun, kind of. And then you had the anti-cheat to look forward to, but
Yeah.
now it's just like, it's so stale. You want the next game so bad because it's something different. Even if it's not better, it's going to be different. And that's what we need right now, you know? Just something different, a different Warzone experience.
I agree. And it will be better. I'm very curious.
Well,
this is something we haven't talked about enough, I don't think. Because we've been focused a lot, I especially have been focused a lot on Warzone 2 is going to be a lot better than Warzone. Because it's going to be learning from a lot of the mistakes Warzone made and building those things out. So, for example, gas mask animation, dog shit. That's not going to be a problem when Warzone 2 comes out. Parachute distance, how armor plates function, other things like balloons, how things like that have been really what we've been focused on, like mechanics they've implemented since the release of the game, and how Warzone 2 is going to be really good because all of that's going to be in on day one. But one thing we have not talked about that much, because I haven't thought about it that much, but I'm very excited for, kind of nervous, but excited for, is it will be like a different engine. And that's could be really, really good. Because imagine if current Warzone was played on the Vanguard engine with Vanguard movement, except there was no tac sprint delay. Like, how much smoother does Vanguard feel to play than Warzone? How much better does it feel? How much better does it look? Maybe not look, but
well, yeah,
it feels a lot better because the engine's like different. And Warzone 2 is going to be a different thing too. Somewhat. It might be the same, like fucking, I don't know, Foundation or whatever. Go ask a nerd. I don't know.
A nerd, yeah.
Another nerd. A nerd that knows what he's talking about. But that's going to be like a big deal, I think, potentially. And if it does feel even more fluid than Vanguard, that would make Warzone a lot of fun. Because it's one of those things you don't think about a lot, but it's like how your character moves is going to be something you're brushing up against 100% of the time you play the game. It's like so important. It's always going to be relevant. Even plating isn't always relevant. Sometimes you have no plates, so the plate system, how it works, isn't impacting your game at that moment. Not how you move, though. That's all, unless you're, unless you're mounted, hopefully they don't bring mounting back. Unless you're mounted on like some head glitch on a rooftop, then movement's like always going to be relevant, and the engine's going to play a big part in that. So I'm very excited for that too with Warzone 2. Super excited.
Yeah, everything with Vanguard is good until you slide and then start moving after.
Yep.
It was like so close to being perfect. Because the movement speed itself is very quick and it's like the perfect speed. And then, then you slide and you try to sprint after and it's like, okay, well, this doesn't feel fluid anymore.
Yep.
But yeah.
It's the dog shit delay. It's so stupid.
Yep, I know. It just completely throws it off. So, it wouldn't be surprising to think they do something similar to that in Warzone 2, you know? Some dog shit delay like that. That's going to be the biggest thing.
Honestly, I don't think they'll fuck that up.
Ted has literally tweeted out that he doesn't like how it is in Warzone because it's an accessibility issue.
The slide canceling thing, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like maybe it would be closer to Vanguard in that sense.
Maybe. What were you gonna say?
So yeah, all I'm saying is you're saying Warzone 2 will be better. I don't know. It's going to be so much different, I think. I think kids are going to hate it off the start.
It will be. Yeah, because you're right. It could be a worse experience.
Yeah. I think regardless, people are going to hate it on launch because it's going to be different than Warzone 1 and people are going to be expecting Warzone 1 on a new map. That's literally it. That's what people are going to expect going into it. Even though they don't say that, that's what they're going to think. So when they start moving and it feels completely different, they're going to be like, dude, this game fucking sucks. I guarantee you that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. Oh, that's always what happens with new CODs.
Yeah.
For sure. Which we talked about. But anyway, other than that, I guess we'll get into these absolute questions. As I said, if you have more, ask them in Twitch chat. I don't believe we have any other announcements we need to make.
I don't think so.
Okay. All right, so let's just get right into this thing. We will start with questions we got in Discord. And I really like this first question from Ox. A British person asks,
British.
Would Warzone play better without self-reses, but with no damage over time to down players? Only damage from players and gas, I would presume. So the fight between teams could still play out without feeling rushed to res. I believe it would be far better. Super interesting idea. What are your thoughts?
I got to think about this for a minute. So you're in a gunfight, down some people. They can't self, so you have to wait for your teammates to get to them.
But they're never going to bleed out.
Yeah, they're not going to bleed out.
You have to fool them.
No, I think that'd make fights worse. I think it would make teams play like very slow then and more ratty. And instead of peeking, maybe they attempt to like go for the res more often than like continue the fight or something, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of hard to like imagine how that would actually play out. Sounds weird. If the people could move, then I think it would make it a lot worse than how it is now. Because it's like now you kind of have to, if you get like some teammates that are down and you have to res them, you kind of get put in a scenario where it's like you have to push and fight so that you can get your teammates up rather quickly. And if you don't have to do that, then it's going to like just really slow down those fights. And I think people will prioritize just getting their teammate up rather than like feeling like they're in like a time crunch to kill the other team so that they can res their teammates. I don't know. I feel like it would just make it a little bit more ratty and slow paced.
I don't
know though.
If you removed self-res, that would change the game a lot. So that's one thing. But on the other hand, down players don't take damage over time, so they'll stay down until they give up, die to gas, or get shot. I don't think that would actually matter that much, because I want you guys listening to think about the last time you got downed and then bled out. Like it doesn't.
It happens. It happens during team fights quite a bit, really. When your team is continuing to fight, yeah. Oh, my teammates always leave me, and they continue the fight, and then by the time they kill everyone, and then the other team were fighting all had selfs, and then they had to kill all of them. Then they start coming back to res me, and I already bled out at that point. It happens quite a bit.
I feel like it does not happen very often at all. It definitely does happen sometimes, but usually what happens if it's like 4v4 team fight and I get downed and like my other teammate gets downed or whatever, usually what's happening here is my entire team's getting wiped soon and then we're all dead. So then bleeding out doesn't matter. Or I get downed and then we wipe them and then I get rezzed. Like I don't know. It just doesn't seem to happen to me very often. I don't know if it would be better. I think you do need to be able to bleed out though, because there does need to be some urgency, and you have plenty of time. By the way, if you're downed, that's a long timer.
Yeah, has there ever been a game that's done that where you don't bleed out when downed? I don't think there has been. I feel like
I don't know. Yeah,
every PR has that mechanic.
Yeah,
if they had downing, I don't know.
Yeah, I would like self-reses to be taken out of the game though. I'd take that.
Yeah,
but I don't think
you'd be down for self-reses to go, but not. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like, I would like to see the game with self-reses only be able to be bought from a buy station for like 6,000 and not have them be discounted during a fire sale or something and not lootable at all.
Yeah,
that would be interesting to see.
Yeah, for sure. So, good question.
And I'd like the tokens gone.
That's one of those things though I'd have to play, honestly. I don't know. Yeah. Like if we could play for like 2 weeks where there's no down bleed out timer or whatever, maybe we'd have a different stance. I don't know. I just don't think it would be relevant that often. I don't think like having a bleed out timer is going to make me win a gunfight that I would otherwise lose, or vice versa, more than once out of 100 like team fights. You know, I just don't think it would matter that much ultimately, but maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, next, Reflex. Do you really think Warzone 2 will be a big improvement for the overall game, or will it have a lot of the same issues that we have been complaining about since Warzone came out? This is a question.
Well, it's kind of what we were just saying is I'm sure a lot of the things we've complained about since Warzone, I think that will be fixed because they've been doing that over the last few months. They've been fixing a lot of those older issues. But of course, I mean, with a whole new game and a supposed new design system, like with the little what are they called? Like strongholds you have to get a loadout with, like taking over stronghold.
Things, yeah.
It's just going to be different issues will arise, obviously. But I think probably most of the issues we have about Warzone right now will be gone from the way they've been patching things. I would imagine that's the case. I'm sure you'll still die to airstrikes inside of a building, though. That's absolutely not going away. But, you know, a lot of the core things we've complained about, like the just the things they've done over the last few months, you know, with armor plates, satchel changes, you know, the being revived into prone and crouch, just like little tiny things like that, they all do add up. And obviously, as we've been saying, that they're making those changes also going forward. Obviously, they're not just going to make all these changes to Warzone 1 and then go back to how it was kind of in Warzone 2. So it's going to be a totally different experience regardless. But I don't know. It sounds weird right now, honestly. From the leaks we've had, Warzone 2 on paper sounds worse than Warzone 1 because it just sounds odd, like which taking over strongholds. But that's the issue, is we don't know what that means. Like, everyone puts emphasis on those things, like, oh, you got to take over stronghold to get a loadout, blah blah. But it's like that could be something so simple as basically looting money. It's just a different way of wording it and kind of a different way of doing it. But on paper it sounds weird. It's like, why would we have to do that? Just let me do it how it is. So I don't know. It's going to be a drastic difference, though, I think, from Warzone 1. And obviously, a lot of people aren't going to end up liking that. And they're just going to want Warzone 1 back. And hey, Warzone 1 will still be playable if you guys want to play that.
Yeah, but, go play that. Yep.
I don't know. I honestly am a little worried because on paper, it sounds fucking weird. The strongholds and everything. The map design sounds really cool, though, from the map we've gotten leaked from Tom and the screenshots we've seen of the multiplayer maps that are going inside of the map. I am very excited to see the large Warzone map overall because it looks like a cool design.
Yeah, the map is super important. It does look like a cool design besides the water. Oh,
and last thing, there will absolutely still be footstep audio issues always. That will still be a problem.
Oh, of course.
Guaranteed. So yes, that's not going away.
Yeah. So yeah, like Tanner was kind of getting at, will Warzone 2 have a lot of the issues? Well, okay. So it's like, first of all, when we say Warzone 2 is going to launch and be way better than Warzone, what I mean by that is that the Warzone 2 launch will be a very big improvement over the Warzone launch. I mean, think of when Warzone launched. There were no gas masks. Like, the plates were dog shit. It was glitchy. Everything that's been fixed, no balloons, all of that stuff was not in the game. So, like, will the Warzone 2 launch be better than the Warzone launch? Infinitely. Yeah, there are going to be so many better decisions made. Will it be that much better than now? I mean, ultimately, we don't know. But every change, every quality of life change that they've made to Warzone, and will continue to make until Warzone 2 comes out, will be in Warzone 2 at launch. That's mainly what we mean by that. Will it have a lot of the same issues that we've been complaining about since Warzone came out? Like not being able to hear footsteps, like not being able to hear parachutes, like dog shit gulags, like not being able to see people in dark rooms, like what was the other thing you said? Oh my god.
Airstrikes in buildings.
Like dying to airstrikes in buildings, yes. Here's what I'll say. Maybe it will have those issues. Maybe it won't. But if it doesn't have those issues, there are going to be 5 other issues that are just as frustrating and game breaking that are different, but still in the game. There's no world where Warzone 2, at any state, on the last day, the most polished final day of Warzone 2's life cycle in 2028, when the server is going offline the next day, at its most polished, on that day, there will be at least 5 disastrous, unforgivable, game-breaking dogshit bugs in that game. Will they be the same ones we have now? Probably not, but maybe. But there will be bugs, and we will be molding, and there will be things that are unforgivable for game developers to allow into their BR. Absolutely. I just don't know if they'll be the same things or different things. But does it matter that much? I don't think so. But don't misunderstand us. We're excited for Warzone 2. I have high hopes for Warzone 2. I'm quite optimistic. Does that mean it's not going to be a buggy, frustrating disaster where I died at bullshit, dog shit, trash, cheese all the time? No, of course all of that's also going to happen. But at least it's going to look different so I can mold with a different game on my screen for some novelty. But make no mistake, we don't think this game's going to be perfect literally ever. It won't be. Yeah. It'll be shit.
The other thing is we have to remember Verdansk from day one to the last day, quite a bit different. Caldera from day one to how it is now, quite a bit different. So we're going to launch again in that state. So Warzone 2 is going to be, there's going to be a lot of like little issues with it, like maybe things like repels aren't on the side of buildings that you need in certain places. And over time, that's going to progress. But obviously, Warzone 2 is going to be a longer life cycle, theoretically, from what we've seen, from what we heard from Warzone 1. So those changes are going to take place over time. And, maybe those things come quicker this time around since we have no main paid title coming in 2023 and 24 studios working on Warzone. Maybe we get those things faster. But regardless, day one of Warzone 2 is going to be a lot different than how the game will look like a year later,
100%. Yeah.
And so it'll improve over time, just as Caldera has improved.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's another thing too, is like certain improvements that get added to the game. Like, I'm not sure. This is one thing I said about the balloons when they added them to Caldera. And our dicks were all hard about them. As they should be, because I'd rather have balloons on Caldera than not.
Oh, yeah, of course. No
Despite
question.
how often I get landed on don't hear anyone and then die with no chance for recourse. I would still rather have them than not, because you need them on that map. But one thing we had said about balloons early on, or at least I did, was like, I would have liked to have played Verdansk with balloons. I take that back. I think Verdansk would be a disaster with balloons. I think it would be really bad. And I think it would make the map worse. Whereas on Caldera, it makes the map better.
Why do you think it'd make Verdansk worse?
Because Verdansk is easy enough to travel around and get from point A to point B and have cover while you're doing it, that I don't want to add balloons, which allow you to get third party raped with no audio. If there's not going to be a benefit to outweigh that cost. Like the benefit to just dying to people out of the sky, pterodactyls that you never heard. The benefit to allowing that mechanic on Caldera is that I can actually go up the mountain that I otherwise just simply can't go up. But on Verdansk, you don't get that benefit. So why do I want to die to pterodactyls I can't hear? It's not worth the cost. It wouldn't be worth the cost to me on Verdansk. It would be fun. It'd be cool to yeet myself up to the top of Trump Tower in Verdansk.
Imagine there was a balloon on top of Trump Tower.
Oh my god.
That'd be dope.
That would be sick, yeah.
Go so far.
You'd be above the plane, dude. You'd shoot people coming back from Gulag because you'd be above them with loadout.
Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah.
I
don't know, though, because, one of the things you hated most about Verdansk was what? You always complaining about the rooftop campers, so balloons would help with that aspect a lot.
It would.
So, I don't know.
I agree. That would be a benefit. I don't think it would outweigh getting landed on, though. But maybe not, because in Verdansk you wouldn't get landed on nearly as often because you'd be in a building.
Exactly. Yeah.
So maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
Yeah. Because maybe it's actually worse on Caldera.
If someone balloons onto you with UAV and you're not at a POI, you're just fucked. I mean, there's no cover. Like, you can't just dip into a building. Whereas on Verdansk, I guess you would be able to do that. So maybe I'm wrong. But my point here is that there are some like fixes or tweaks or quality of life improvements that were added to Warzone in general on either map that were kind of like specific to this game. And so we're going to have to see what Warzone 2 is like to see what those changes are. You know, if there's going to be a backpack system in Warzone 2, that's not going to be as polished as the parachuting mechanics. Because parachutes were in Warzone 1. They have refined and polished how parachutes work over time in Warzone 1. So on day 1 of Warzone 2, they've already made the mistakes and will fix them. Gas masks, same thing. They've already made the mistakes with gas masks and are still making many of them. And then when Warzone 2 comes out, at least the ones that have been fixed will be fixed on day 1. But how about the bag system? Well, we haven't had a bag system in Warzone yet for Activision to have been polishing for the last 2 years. So when the bag system comes out on day 1, if that is in fact the case, it's going to be dog shit. It's going to be a mess, and there are going to be things about it that very easy quality of life improvements could solve that won't happen for a year, just like with gas mask animations. So it's going to be a different thing for that reason too. It's going to be a different map and a different game with different mechanics. At least some different mechanics, I would imagine. So
yeah,
we'll have to see. But I do think Warzone 2 will be an improvement overall. Yeah. And I'm not saying that based on any evidence. I'm just taking it, some evidence. Like, you know, they're not going to make the same mistakes with gas masks again. That's my evidence. But
a lot of it too,
it's on faith.
We'll be going back to like the simplicity of like day 1 Verdansk, where we're not going to have many guns. I know now it really doesn't matter because you use 2 ARs in Caldera and 4 different SMGs. That's it. But it's going to be like, you know, we're back down to like 30 to 40 total guns that we have to choose from. And supposedly we're not getting a 10 attachment weapon system coming. So that's going to be a little bit more simplified as well. But that I think that's going to be the other thing, is it's going to feel like probably a pretty simple game again for a while, like the early days of Verdansk felt. Whereas, like, you know, going into Caldera, we had all the guns we already had, and then we got 40 more added. So now we're up to, you know, 45 different assault rifles to choose from. We don't know the attachments. It was confusing. It was a major turnoff for casual players. Major turnoff. So this is gonna, you know, I think also help those type of people that don't play a lot. They didn't play a ton of Warzone 1. They were never that into it. It's gonna be just simple again for them.
True. Yeah, that is another thing. If you don't like watch videos and shit or streamers, and you just load up Warzone on your first day, what gun do you pick? Like, you know, I mean, impossible. Yeah. Like, actually, you never figure it out on your own.
And that's kind of why Warzone was simple at a point, because what'd you do? You're like, oh, the M4, that's probably a good gun, and it was. And you'd kit out an M4, like, oh, let me put an optic on this. Oh, I want to suppressor on it because I don't want people to hear me. It's like, oh, there's an extended mag, I want that on there. It's like, boom, there's 3 out of the 5 attachments you choose from. Simple, anyone can figure it out. Now it's like, well, fuck, I don't know what to choose. Look at all these different grips. What's the difference between sustained recoil? What is recoil recovery? What is, you know, this and that? It's confusing. It's way too confusing for people.
Yeah, for sure.
That's kind of what I worry about, though, with like the stronghold system for Warzone 2, is something that's not confusing going to appear confusing because it's different. And it's like, what are you talking about? I have to take over a stronghold. How do I do it? You know, is that going to turn people off? Those are the things that I really wonder about with the next Warzone. But I don't know. I hope we see a lot of stuff or something on Warzone within like the next month. By the end of like August, I really hope we get some sort of teaser. I kind of doubt we will, though. But
I would like that too. But I don't know. I don't know.
May not even get anything until after Modern Warfare 2 launches.
Yeah. Crotch discomfort hurting your game? Fear no more. The kings of crotch comfort, Manscaped, have spent 2 years designing the most comfortable boxer briefs out there. And I have them, and they are extremely comfortable. Tanner's favorite pair of boxers. Sleek, soft, comfy, and flexible. The brand new Boxers 2.0 from Manscaped take your balls to the royal ball throne. The global leaders in below-the-waist grooming have the Lawnmower 4.0 for the trimming, so you can wear the Boxers 2.0 for the chillin'. They even trademarked the Jewel Pouch, so you know it's serious. It's time for you to invest in your family jewels. Let your bulge breathe and get 20% off and free shipping by using code DROPSHOT at manscaped.com. Let's say you're on a date somehow, and your partner catches that Manscaped on the waistband of your underwear. It's almost guaranteed to raise some eyebrows and act like a billboard highway to Pleasure Town. This is thanks to the Lawnmower 4.0, the best electric trimmer for below-the-waist grooming. This 4th gen trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. It's waterproof. It's got a 400K spotlight for precision. Beyond cleaning, Manscaped is focused on comfort with the new Boxers 2.0. Boost confidence everywhere you are, knowing you're wearing the absolute best pack for your sack. The Jewel Pouch, a pouch designed to cradle your balls in their own special space, lined with perforated performance fabric to keep them well ventilated. The micromodal fabric is buttery soft and breathable, keeping that cucumber cool. Get 20% off and free shipping with our code DROPSHOT at manscaped.com. Once again, 20% off and free shipping. Use promo code DROPSHOT at manscaped.com. Up your crotch game, because once the Boxers 2.0 touch your sack, you'll never go back. Next, on Twitter, got a question from Sean Barlow. Will Raven fix the audio in Warzone? What do you think, Tanner? It's been 2 years. You think Raven's going to fix the audio suddenly?
They fixed something recently, because I went from being the worst it's ever been, actually, like 3-4 weeks ago, to as bad as it was a few months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not better, but they unbroke whatever was messed up, it seems.
Which is cool.
Yeah, they fixed it. They did fix it. And it wasn't intended, by the way. They probably just put out another small patch for something else, and it fixed the audio. So, yeah.
Yeah, Raven won't fix the audio. The audio in Warzone will never be good. And hot take, okay. Can someone name me an FPS game that has good footstep audio?
I was about to get there too. It kind of is a difficult thing to balance, because some people,
because no one can do it.
Because people either complain footsteps are too quiet or too loud. There is no middle ground that everyone agrees on ever. Vanguard, a lot of people that like Ninja and Dead Silence love the footstep audio. Me, I think it's horrendous. MW 2019, I preferred the footstep audio in there because it was louder. There was no Ninja. And most people said it was too loud. It's always, no one can ever agree on the footstep audio. But the thing with Warzone is, like, you actually just won't get audio when you think you should get audio. That's kind of what it comes down to. Vanguard, I just know to assume now, oh, someone has their barrel at the back of my head shooting me full auto. I don't hear it. I don't know. Because the game
Vanguard
has horrendous audio. Yeah.
There isn't audio, in fact. I don't think I've ever heard a sound.
But, yeah, you're right. I mean, like games like CoD 4, you heard footsteps. You heard footsteps when people did a jog or sprint, but if they were ADS walking or crouch walking, it didn't make a sound.
Which and I honestly, think is fine.
And I think that's like the best way to like kind of balance it down the middle pretty much. But then again, people complained about footstep audio being too loud in CoD 4 back then, probably. So, I don't know. I am trying to think of a game that has good footstep audio.
There isn't a game with... I haven't played an FPS game that's even remotely popular in 5 years where the footsteps audio is even acceptable. It's like in Warzone, the audio is unacceptable. It's not even decent. It's not even subpar. It's so bad that it's unacceptable. Tarkov, unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. Tarkov, hot take. Tarkov audio is worse than Warzone. Because someone can be in the room above you and you don't hear them at all, and you're wearing a headset that amplifies footsteps. It's like,
you hear people above, it's people below you don't hear.
Because if someone's above you and they're walking gingerly, you will hear them a lot, like easily, without a fucking headset. In fact, with noise canceling headphones on, you'll hear people, assholes, walking around above you in like a room. Not in Tarkov. In Tarkov, they literally don't make sound. It's insane. And then all of a sudden, they go to the staircase. They step on stair 1, no audio. 2, no audio. 3, no audio. 4, my ears are ringing. It's the loudest thing I've ever heard. All of a sudden.
That is true.
It's like, huh? What's going on here? It's impossible to do audio. I don't even blame devs anymore. No one can do it right. No one can do it right.
And that is kind of how Warzone is. It either you don't hear anything, or then all of a sudden you hear it very clearly. Yes. You don't ever like, oh, I can kind of hear it. It's either zero audio or full audio, like they're right next to you. Yeah. I'm thinking of when we went back and played PUBG a few months ago. From what I remember at that game is you could hear footstep audio from really, really, really far away, but it was impossible to pinpoint. Granted, I hadn't played the game in years, but we played for probably 5-6 hours total over a couple days. And that's what I kept noticing. I'm like, dude, I hear these guys' footsteps. I literally couldn't tell you if they were walking in the house across the street or if they had just walked up my staircase and were outside of my door. I could not tell. It was impossible for me to pinpoint. And that shouldn't be a thing. You shouldn't have to play a game for 1,000 hours to figure out how to pinpoint the audio exactly, you know? So it obviously is an insane thing to do. Apex, I don't know. I've never. What are some other popular shooters right now?
As much as I want to blame Activision for how bad the audio is, I've seen so many games, and like games I don't play, I will see people bitch about the audio in, like on Twitter or something. They'll be like, oh, this audio is so fucking bad. Fix your game, whatever. So like I've seen that so much, and in my own experience, that I as much as I'd love to blame how incompetent Activision dev studios are, which they are, for the audio problems, I don't think in this case it's really their fault, because it must be it must be more difficult than it should be, than it sounds like it ought to be. It sounds pretty easy to me. If there's a guy running above me in a building, I should hear it. I mean, that doesn't sound hard. But apparently it is. I don't know. I don't get it.
I wonder how Battlefield's footstep audio is. It probably doesn't matter because there's 4 tanks on the map and helicopters, and probably wouldn't hear anything anyways, and 128 people firing full auto guns. But I've never really heard people bitch about that. Maybe it's because no one plays it.
That's a unique solution, Steel Switch. Apex has a directional heads-up display that shows where you hear footsteps.
Really?
You know what we could do?
How is that not in CoD? They're like trying to be the kings of accessibility. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep, that's exactly. I was going to say, okay, they're on an accessibility kick right now. Here's what we need to do. Tweet at CoD and say, hey, you made an ableist game and you are not catering to the hearing impaired Call of Duty fans. We need a visual indicator of where I'm hearing footsteps for the hearing impaired. Make this an accessibility option. It's imperative. If Tim the Tatman tweeted that, we would have directional HUD where you hear footsteps yesterday. That's a good idea, dude. I would like that.
How does Warzone not have that? I'm launching Warzone to look in some settings and stuff like that because they've added a bunch of accessibility stuff lately. What else did they add?
There's no shot.
Yeah, because I mean, people would be running that if that was the case. But I thought they did something with audio.
Not like a UAV, Nicole. Kind of like High Alert, Nicole.
Yeah, kind of like High Alert, exactly.
Except instead of orange, it would be, I don't know, green or something. That would be really cool. I would really like that. That would help a lot too, because apparently it's impossible to let me hear people I should hear. But at least the game knows if someone's above me, so just give me a visual indicator. And I'll be like, okay, cool. I don't hear the guy above me, but I know he's there because my character... Because you could play it off as like your character hears someone above you, even if you don't. you know, and then that's why you're getting the indicator. I think that would be like, you know, passable. That's a good ass idea. Will they do it? Actually, maybe, because you can actually sell that as an accessibility option.
That literally is what it is, yeah.
And dude, deaf people do play fucking COD.
They sure do.
They would need something like that. We need someone popular to like make a change.org petition or something. Because they would actually add this. I swear to God, they would add it. And
I'm loading up the game to see what other accessibility things they have.
Do I care about deaf people? No. I do a podcast. Podcasts are listened to. So I don't give a fuck about deaf people. However...
Jesus Christ.
However,
man.
that's a joke. I care about deaf people. And in all seriousness, this would be an actually really good feature for deaf players. Or almost deaf players, like my parents, who don't play COD, but if they did, they would need
Let's take a look.
Like
so where
this.
is accessibility? I thought there's some sort of accessibility. So there's subtitles, doesn't matter. Colorblind, doesn't matter. What other shit did they add recently?
I mean, not this, if that's what you're looking for, bud.
No, but they've added other accessibility stuff because they tweet about it all the time, and now I don't see any of it. Yeah, so they don't have any accessibility items.
It could be not in the accessibility tab, maybe.
There's like nothing in the accessibility tab, yeah.
So it could be in like, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, that would be a really good thing to add, actually.
Like, it would, as much as I would want it personally for myself, it would also actually help deaf people play COD. Because if you're a deaf dude or girl or person, whatever, playing Warzone, you could be like, okay, imagine if I just made Aiden deaf. He'd be terrible. Like, he'd be pretty good still, but he would do a lot worse. And it wouldn't be his fault. He just lost his hearing. And if you added in those features, it would help deaf people like enjoy Warzone and do a lot better and be on par with people that can hear. That'd be cool, dude. I would like that.
Hey, we should tweet that at Ted, actually. I think I'll send out a little tweet.
Dude, actually, we should. Like, actually, though. We really should.
Wait, there's a whole...
I'm going to write it in the board meeting. We're going to start a change.org petition, dude.
Yeah, so under... That's weird. So interesting. For accessibility, they have field of view in there. Got it.
Really?
But console players don't have a field of view slider. So you don't care about the accessibility of console players. Got it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like motion blur and shit. That's weird. I don't know.
Let's move on. Jax, how would you prefer DMZ? Realism mode, TTK, with slower tack shooter-like movement. Okay, so very fast time to kill, slower movement, or high health and fast movement speed, or something completely different. Tanner.
So I want to say like, fuck, I don't know. I kind of want it slow movement, but a slower time to kill. Not like, because you kind of think like slow movement and like a fast time to kill, like hardcore almost. But I think like slower movement with a slower time to kill would be more ideal. But then also, I don't know, because it's hard to imagine playing a Call of Duty game that's like that, you know? Because if it loses that fast-paced aspect, then no one will care about it. The only people playing DMZ would be hardcore players. And maybe that's what they're going for. Maybe that's what DMZ is. Maybe there's not regular hardcore this year, and that's one of the things for those players. But I don't know. I don't want like super fast movement speed and high health. No. I really think I'd rather have the combo of slower movement and a slightly slower than normal time to kill compared to like multiplayer time to kill or something. I think that would kind of hit the sweet spot.
I would want to see DMZ have the same movement and health that Warzone 2 will have. And the goal of DMZ will be to get the higher tier armors so that you're tankier. And that would be the point of like looting, and better guns, obviously, and extended mags and shit. So like by default, you have 150 health, for example. Movement's exactly the same as Warzone. And then you load into a raid, you go marked room, you get like tier 3 armor, which is like the best armor you can get with 3 plates. So now you have like, now the TDK to kill you is way slower because you have plates. You have armor and plates. But it's only the same. It's the same as if you had that armor and plates in Warzone 2. That would be best for me. I want it to play and feel the same as CoD does. I want it to play and feel like Warzone 2. And I want it to have the time to kill like Warzone 2. Where if you have no armor, it's pretty fucking fast. But if you do have armor, it's Warzone speed, you know? I think that would be cool. And then the attraction of DMZ wouldn't be that the mechanics are different or the TTK is different. The mechanics would be you lose your loot when you die. The goal is to loot things and get out of the raid, extract, and then go back to your hideout, complete tasks, whatever. That's what I would want. I think that would be really fun. And I think that's very likely what's going to be the case. I find it very unlikely that you're going to have a faster TTK in DMZ than in like multiplayer or something. I don't think they're going to do that.
Yeah,
and the movement absolutely won't be different. There's no chance that's true.
That's true. Yeah, they aren't going to make the movement entirely different. Yeah, that is a good point. It's going to be the same movement ported over. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, the movement for sure. Maybe the health would be different, but I would be surprised. But yeah. But like, again, like I've said before a couple times, I would love to play Tarkov with a slower TTK. I think that would be really fun. And that's what DMZ potentially could be, because COD TTK is way fucking slower than getting Magnum buckshotted at 40 meters in one fucking frame. Head, eyes, smile. Thanks, Bastion. That would be, you know, it would be fun to like not die there and have like a slower TTK. I'd have a lot of fun with that, but I don't know.
The Tarkov time to kill is all over the place.
Yeah, all over the place. When I'm shooting, it's 45 minutes. When I'm being shot, it's one frame. Yeah.
That's the thing, is you end up missing so many shots, everyone does, and then it comes down to like you hit someone in the armor twice, and then you accidentally hit them in their face once, and they're dead.
That's most of the kills, actually.
That's every gunfight. Yeah.
You aim like thorax, and then you just get a headshot.
That's the thing about that game is people miss their shots way more often than they hit their shots. Warzone's the opposite. People don't miss shots ever. So it's like, that's why it ends up being also so inconsistent.
That's why you have to have a slower TTK in Call of Duty.
Yeah.
True. That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, if you guys think like any Warzone gun ever has had a lot of recoil, go like, don't watch Tarkov because everyone there has like giga meta setups, but like go play Tarkov with like an M4 with no like crazy attachments on it and go full auto. Good luck. It's actually not possible. There doesn't exist a desk that's large enough for you to control the recoil by pulling down on it. You would be 3 bullets in, your mouse would be off your desk. I mean, it's insane. You can't do it. So
it's crazy. Like thinking in Vanguard or in Warzone, zoomed in 6 times with an NZ.
I know, I'm sure.
Firing full auto, and then think playing Tarkov zoomed in with a Voodoo firing full auto.
6X, yeah.
Within 3 bullets, you don't even see the person anymore. Yep. You're so far off the screen. True. Yeah.
With a meta setup, the lowest recoil meta anything. True. Yeah. You're fucked. Yeah. How realistic? You've shot guns before. If I bought you an M4A1 standard issue with no fucking underbarrel crazy grips, but it has all the parts, you know, just like a Peacekeeper M4. If I gave you that in real life,
a Peacekeeper M4,
just a standard Peacekeeper M4. If I gave you that in real life, and you went full auto, would you be that bad at controlling recoil as your character in Tarkov?
At range, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So like, absolutely. You wouldn't be able to like full auto spray at like 20 meters and hit like
Oh, 20 meters, I'm sure you could. I don't know.
Well,
I've
you
never
can't
fired
in
a full auto
Tarkov.
gun.
You can't in Tarkov. So does Tarkov have more recoil? No, you can't. Trust me. There's no shot you're gonna sit here and tell me you could buy a Peacekeeper M4, go to your fucking hideout, and if you say you will, we're ending the stream and I'm gonna go watch you do it, because it's not true. And go to your hideout, go to your shooting range, go full auto on the rightmost little cutout, and hit 5 bullets full auto. You can't do it. I don't believe you could do it. You literally wouldn't hit 5. Nope. You wouldn't hit 5.
Oh, you're insane. Yes, you could.
Okay.
This explains why you're so bad at the game.
I would love to see
it's
you
all
do
making sense.
I would love to see you do it.
It's all making sense.
I will give you $500 or whatever to do that.
Wow.
In game. That's what I mean.
Got it. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, my question was just, is the Tarkov recoil realistic with no attachments? Because it seems like a gun wouldn't recoil that much in real life, honestly.
They do. They do.
Really?
I mean, it depends on the caliber, too, that you're shooting. Yeah, it entirely depends on that.
What's the
M4s
highest
don't
caliber?
have more recoil compared to like AK. It's a way bigger bullet.
The AK bullet's bigger, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You ever shot an AK?
No.
Are they hard to get? They're easy to get, aren't they?
You can get like variants of them in California. Yeah, a lot of them you can't, but yeah, you can get some. I'm gonna turn on my air vent.
I'd love to shoot an AK full auto. Just spray that sucker. Anyway, if anyone in chat or listening rather has shot a weapon full auto, how hard is it to control the recoil on it? What gun did you shoot? 'Cause I'm curious. Because I don't believe the Tarkov recoil. I feel like I couldn't control the recoil better. But I mean, a private military, like a Blackwater contractor, I think you could do better with a Peacekeeper M4 than the guy in Tarkov does.
I don't think they usually even go full auto.
Yeah, they don't. That's true too. Yeah.
I mean, when you think of like the military, like when they qualify people, they don't. I don't even think like the Marine Corps has full auto guns, or not like rifles. They
not
qualify
rifles,
it semi-auto at like what, 300 meters, 500 meters, something like that.
That's true too. And I only know that because I've listened to Grimm's war stories. But he's like, yeah, dude, we don't.
Grimm was a machine gunner though too. He fired full auto. That's what he does.
Well, yeah, but you know, he's talking about like other people. He's like, yeah, people don't fire fucking M4s full auto ever. Because why would you? You're in like a bunker or like behind a berm or something, and you are shooting like 200 meters away.
Oh yeah, you don't ever see him
full auto. Why would I do that? And ammo's expensive. They're not just gonna waste ammo like that.
Well, the U.S. military has a how many $1 trillion budget?
Yeah,
they
money
can
is
waste
fake,
all the ammo they want.
But still, their captain or whatever would get mad. What's the sergeant? Is it a sergeant? Who's in charge of like a squad of like 5 dudes?
I don't fucking know.
Because it's like private, corporal. But I feel like corporal's still too much of a shitter rank to be in charge of the group.
Corporals, I think you're still a shitter at that point.
You
go up to sergeant there, but then
sergeant?
even sergeant, there's like 8 different sergeants or 6 different or something.
Yeah, there's like gunnery sergeant. Yeah.
Sergeant first is sergeant first class one? I don't know. There's a lot of them though.
Yeah. Shout out to the sergeants listening. There are none.
There's none of them. There's not a single one of them.
There are 0 sergeants listening. Yeah. Yeah. I should join the military and become a colonel. What are your thoughts on that?
You think you can just join up at the colonel level?
Make colonel?
I think you could, yeah.
It's possible, right? Yeah. So is that how
sergeant, staff sergeant, gunnery sergeant, master sergeant, first sergeant, mastery gunny sergeant, sergeant major of the Marine Corps?
Jesus Christ. It's a lot of too many sergeants.
You sarge? Yeah, the ranking system is weird in the United States military. They should fix it. They should just have like
level
rank
1 through 55.
Yeah, they should have rank 1 through 55. That's it, man.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. It's way too confusing. They need to talk to Activision about that.
I was going to ask a question that I was interested in, and I totally forgot about it. I was like just going to ask it. What was it? God damn it. Oh yeah, if you join like officer candidate school or whatever, and you like join the military as an officer, how does that work? What
You
is
get
an
hated
officer?
on. You get hated on by the grunts. I guarantee
So
you
what's
ask
the lowest
Grim.
officer rank?
I don't. It's like lieutenant. I don't. What is that? In the does a Marine use lieutenants though? I don't even know.
Lowest officer rank Marines.
I think Marines have lieutenants.
Let's
there's
see.
called warrant officers, which is like, let's Army. Their ranks are easier.
So warrant officer is the lowest officer rank?
I believe so.
Yeah, because E9 is enlisted, and then W is... Wait, it's
and
own
those
thing?
people
And then O
are
is
usually
officer.
hated on by the lower ranking guys. So like, I know this girl. She went to school or something. She didn't go to like West Point or whatever the fuck it is.
Went to school.
I think if you get a 4-year degree, you can go in at some other training level and become an officer. So she's been in the Army for 2 years and she's a lieutenant. So you're telling me she's out there leading these fucking grunts that are a corporal that have been in for 4 years that have seen combat, and she comes out of nowhere? That's what doesn't make sense. And that's why I think, I'm pretty sure I want to ask Grim this now. I wish Grim was here. Let's live call Grim on Discord.
Well, wait, a corporal
He probably
is a
hates
non-commissioned officer.
That's still, I don't know.
I don't know
Wait,
how it works.
What rank did he say?
Corporal.
Yeah, corporal's a dog shit rank.
Yeah, right.
That's like normal guys. That's like Grim probably was something around like a corporal. That's like most of the guys he fought with probably was around a corporal rank.
Okay, yeah.
But they're being told what to do often by some lieutenant who just got out of school, got over to Afghanistan. It doesn't know how to fire a gun, but they're the one leading them because they've been to school and had like that training. So those guys usually get hated on because they're like, you're a pussy. You went to school, eat shit, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen combat, you're a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, if I
Like
went to
in,
like whatever
Band of
fucking-
Brothers, that happens.
Oh, really?
There's a dude that comes in. I think. Am I thinking of the right thing? Was it Band of Brothers? There's some movie where some dude, he comes in, he's like an officer, and they're all like, fuck this guy. And he's like telling them what to do, and then they found out later he was basically going and like hiding. I think it was Band of Brothers. So he'd be like, yeah, like go do this shit. And then he would literally fall back and be like hiding in a foxhole or something because he was too scared to fight.
Whoa. Yeah.
Because they like hadn't seen combat. They like come straight out of school and are telling people what to do, but they're,
They're dog shit. Yeah.
they're dog shit. Yeah. I'm gonna ask Grim right now.
If I was a fucking officer, dude, and I joined and I outranked people that were there for fucking 5 years, I'd be like, okay, well, what should we do? And I'm gonna like technically give the order, I guess, because I have to, but I'm not like actually gonna give orders. I'm not gonna like, I don't know what's going on here, man. I think people would like you better if you did that. Be like, I don't really know what's going on. Like, I technically outrank you guys, but you've been here longer. What should we do? And then some grizzled vet who's killed fucking 80 Mooj. It's like, all right, we should go here, do this, then go there. And I'd be like, all right, and then cool, man, let's do that.
And
Here's
then the
order,
sergeant,
do that.
And then the sergeant that's been in for 20 years is being told what to do by some 23-year-old lieutenant who doesn't know shit. Yeah,
exactly.
Lieutenant Dyke, that must be it. Was that him?
That's an unfortunate last
Lieutenant
name.
Dyke, Band of Brothers.
Lieutenant.
Is that who I'm thinking of?
Any lieutenants in the chat? Probably not. Let's move on. Next, Michael Yates.
Yeah, I was right. Yeah.
What would you like the movement to be in MW2/Warzone 2? We've talked about this before. Vanguard movement without the tac sprint delay. That's my ideal. So. Yeah.
Agreed.
Next, Thanatos. King Thanatos. What will be the meta in Season 0 of MW2 and then in the beginning of Warzone 2? I'll tell you right now. An assault rifle with attachments on it that you can shoot at full auto that has no recoil. And then an SMG that you can also shoot at full auto that kills really fast up close. There you go. Congrats. We figured it out.
Yeah, literally it.
There's no way to tell you what gun's going to be the best.
Probably the ACR, man. It's coming back.
Oh God, the Remington ACR, huh? Shout out to Remington.
Is that Remington? Is it the Remington ACR?
It's a Remington ACR, dude. Yeah. You're such a liberal cuck. You don't know who makes the ACR. Cringe. Next.
Remington ACR. Yeah, look at that.
Josie asks,
I want it so bad. Warzone.
You think DMZ will have wipe mechanic? Oh.
Good question. Will it wipe like Tarkov?
So, yeah, for those of you who don't play Tarkov, here's Tarkov is like the game that DMZ is supposedly based off of. We've talked about this before, as many other people have. But one thing Tarkov does is, like, you have levels. So, like, you start as level 1, you do tasks, you kill people, you extract, and you level up. So, like, in whatever, 2 months, you're going to be, like, level 40 or something. And in Tarkov, because eventually, everyone's really high level, everyone's done most of their tasks, and the only thing anyone's doing at that point is like PvPing, which is fun and cool, but there's no more like goals to reach for in that game once it's been going on for like a couple months. So every couple months in Tarkov, there will be something called the wipe. And what the wipe is everyone, whether you like it or not, one day, server maintenance happens. Maybe they add a map. They add some guns. They balance patch some things. They change some things up. And then they reset everyone's character to level 1. They take away all of the items you've gotten, all of your progress, every single thing. Every measure of progress you've gotten is taken away and reset. And then everyone's level 1 on day 1 of wipe, and everyone has the same shit. And this happens every couple of months to keep the game fresh and to give people shit to do. Because eventually there's just nothing to do but kill each other, which again is fun, but that's not like the central goal of a game like Tarkov. It's not to PvP. If it was, go play multiplayer CoD, because that's not what Tarkov is all about. It's part of what Tarkov is about. And another thing too is, if you're trying to play Tarkov for the first time and the last wipe was 3 months ago, good luck and have fun. Because you have dog shit gear, you have dog shit armor, you have dog shit weapons, you don't know the maps, and then some level 50 with an exfil and a slick is going to come with his mutant and bark at you with his 7.62 BP and entirely fuck your ass. And you'll never really have a chance to like get started in the game. So you kind of just have to wait until the next wipe so that we're all level 1 again, you know?
Yeah, because new players can't join in.
So the question is, if DMZ is really going to be like Tarkov, will DMZ also have a wipe mechanic? This is an excellent question. What are your thoughts? Excellent question that I had never thought of. Excellent question.
Yeah, because so the point, as you just said, of the wipe is to kind of also get new players in, because you can't join the game that late. You just get fried by dog shit players. I kind of find it hard to believe, though, that COD would implement some sort of a wipe like that. I almost think they would find a way to make it so you can't really progress that much further. And I don't think you would anyways, because it's like in Tarkov, you get like insane armor and stuff and insane helmets that make it so literally with a gun, if you use 9mm ammo, you can't penetrate certain helmets. You can shoot them in the head 20 times and it won't do anything to them.
Almost couldn't kill them.
But they're not going to do that in COD. So I feel like the need for a wipe won't be there, because everyone will almost be on the same field. Like, you'll have very similar gun setups. The gun customization is not going to be different. There's not going to be 30 different types of ammo for one caliber of gun that do different things. So it's just going to be simplified, and I think just built so nothing like that is required. And you can hop into DMZ 1 year after it launched and play it fine. I honestly think one of the major focuses on DMZ will be like the PvE aspect and like doing some sort of like missions and stuff, and like co-op and whatnot. instead of just straight up PvP, but the PvP will be there, but you're going to be on level ground. It's like you have one armor plate and so does the other guy, maybe. You have a scar with 3 attachments on it. Maybe he has a scar with 5 attachments. There's not going to be some massive gap between like your loadouts compared to the next guy that started playing the game a month later. Like, because you just can't do that in Tarkov. You're just fucked. And
we cannot overstate how fucked you are if you're fighting someone with meta gear and you're level 2.
If you don't start the Tarkov wipe within a month at the absolute most, you're going to have a terrible time.
You'll actually never kill a high level player.
You have, if you want to, yeah, if you want to do good, you literally have to start the wipe within the first 3 days. So yeah, I just think it won't be built like that. I think it'll be simplified so that you just won't need any of that, of course. I can't see them wiping at all.
That's the thing, is like, I feel like if DMZ is at all similar to Tarkov, it will need a wipe mechanic. But I'm with you. I do not see a Call of Duty game ever just taking away your progress. Like, people would lose their minds. I don't think they would ever do that. But then my question is, like, if there's no wipe mechanic, I agree with you that the gear discrepancy won't be as big of a deal in DMZ. There's no chance it will be. But even if that's so, what are DMZ players who've been playing for a year gonna, like, do? Because, like, they're not gonna have unlimited tasks that you can just grind forever. Like, Tarkov's been out for 6 years and there aren't unlimited tasks. Rengar did it in a week.
And it's the same quests that you did 5 years ago. They just keep adding new ones every wipe.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you do the same ones over and over. COD, I don't think will be like that. It'll like rotate. There'll be like daily and weekly things to do.
There will be dailies and weeklies that's probably what they're going to do. And then people are just going to get bored of DMZ once they hit like max level and have done everything except the dailies and shit. Because I wouldn't play anymore. You know? Like, what are you going to do? Like, I don't need loot anymore. I have all the money I want. I have all the best gear I want. I can buy whatever I want. I've done all the quests. I mean, you could go in and PvP.
Are you talking about Tarkov or DMZ?
DMZ. You could go in and PvP and, like, maybe that's really fun for a while, but eventually you would get old it would get old if there was no wipe. But at the same time, I don't think there's going to be wipes in DMZ. Yeah. I
feel like it could be something similar to MW 2019 had the great seasonal challenge system, which was actually kind of interesting. And that's how you got like the max season emblem, like the animated season emblem that like you completed every single.
The idea was great. Yeah.
Challenge to do. And some of the challenges were ridiculous. It was like call in 20 gunships or something. Call in 15 juggernauts. But I'm saying maybe DMZ will be something like that. The day it launches, there will be a bunch of seasonal challenges. So that's what it'll be. There will be seasons like Warzone. And that'll kind of probably be like a wipe, actually, now that I think about it.
That would keep people playing.
And it'll be seasonal challenges, so it'll be like maybe there's some sort of stronghold, like AI stronghold thing. Maybe it'll be like take over 40 AI strongholds. Mm-hmm. Loot this, find 10 of these items and survive with them. Survive and extract.
Get like a
something
dope calling
like
card or like a camo.
Or weapon camos.
That would keep people that would keep me playing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that's probably how they get around wiping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need stuff to do, and that's why I'm bored of Warzone now, because there's literally nothing to do. You play for fun at this point, and Tarkov, you bitch about the early quests that you don't like doing, but if you weren't doing those, you'd be bored out of your mind, realistically. Yeah. But everyone complains about them, including me, but you have to have something to do to keep the game fun and interesting.
Yeah.
So I think that's what they do, some sort of like seasonal things, probably. So I don't think it'd be like exactly like a wipe, but I guess it technically would be. You'd get like new challenges and stuff.
And if you want to call that a wipe, sure, but then Call of Duty already has that, because everyone's like level 1 when the new seasons come out. So yeah, DMZ would probably do something like that. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're spot on. And that would be fun. That would be fun. So, good question. Next, ZPib. Which camo grind is your favorite out of MW, Vanguard, and Cold War? Favorite implies
only
I liked
did-
any of them, but
Actually, you did 2 out of 3. I did 1 out of 3. So MW, the only one I did. I don't know why I could stomach doing Damascus and I just couldn't. Vanguard, I really planned on it and I started like day 1. And I realized how bad some of the camo challenges were. I'm like, I don't want to do these. Yeah. And with MW 2019, you didn't have Warzone to play. So all you had and all you were looking forward to is playing more multiplayer. So it made you want to grind for that more. It's like in Vanguard, I'm like, cool, I can grind for this. But it's a pain in the ass, and I have Warzone to play anyways that I'd rather be playing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've still to this day how many people have you seen with Atomic in Warzone? Not that many. Not that many people grinded it out.
Not that many.
You can play the game for 3 days and watch every single kill cam and not see a person with Atomic.
You can, yeah. You see it, but not very often. Yeah.
Not very often at all. So MW was my favorite, even though it wasn't fun.
Every camo grind in every Call of Duty game I've played has fucking sucked. And that's only because, well, no. You know what? I reject your question. BO4 was my favorite camo grind. Because the challenges actually made sense in that game. To get gold like SMGs or whatever, I think they were still on the headshots only bullshit. Which is good. That was my favorite way to grind camos, was get headshots with ARs and shit. And then to get gold launchers, guess what you had to do? Crazy idea, by the way. Here's what you had to do. Use the launcher as it was intended to be used, and then you would get it gold. Wow, who would have thought, man?
Oh, you don't need to get 50 long shots with it?
You sure don't have to get fucking quintuple kills with an underbarrel grenade launcher. No, you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to use weapons in a way you would never normally use them. Instead, to get a gold launcher in BO4, guess what you had to do? Destroy kill streaks with your launcher. The intended use of the fucking launcher. Wow, who would have thought that would be a good system? That was my favorite camo grind. That was actually fun because even though you would have to get weapons gold that you hated, that you did not like using, you at least got to use those shit weapons in the way those shit weapons were intended to be used. You did not have to get what's the launcher in MW 2019 that goes in the air? Stinger? Joker. You did not have to get a Joker and get double kills. No one's going to use a Joker to get double kills, dude. That's not what anyone's using the Joker for.
The Joker had some cringe challenges.
Yeah. The biggest one was double kills. How the fuck are you going to do that? Turns out, eventually people figured out it was very easy to cheese on shipment 24/7. Yeah, and I did it in like 30 minutes. But before actually it was very easy, but a complete waste of my time. I would load into shipment and just use this weapon in a way that it was not intended to be used, that I would never use it. And here's what I would do. Stand in the farthest corner of shipment, aim at a C-can, fire a Joker into mid and shipment, hope for a double kill, and get one, by the way, every time. So I was ruining the lobby, first of all. If you're playing against someone grinding for Joker double kills on shipment, that's not a fun lobby to be in. Oh, cool, I'm trying to cap B and I died to a Joker, fun. So cringe, ruining the whole lobby and ruining my gameplay. I want to run around and shoot my gun. I don't want to shoot a Joker at a C-can like an asshole for the entire match. It's really stupid. But then they only got worse. Cold Wars was far worse than MW because the launcher challenges were so difficult that instead of at least firing a rocket in an unintended way, you couldn't do that in Cold War. I had to play hardcore, corner camp, and melee 2 people with a launcher fast enough to get a double kill. That was the only way to do it with one of the launchers. Hey, that is definitely not the intended use of a rocket launcher, is to smack people with it. This is absurdity. And then in Vanguard, it was so bad that challenges didn't even track. So it's got precipitously worse since BO4. BO4 was the correct way to grind camos. And we'll never see it again, and it's never going to be fun to grind camos again, ever. You'll never be able to use a weapon in its intended use and get gold with it ever again. That'll never happen again in a Call of Duty game, ever.
MW2, I think, will go back to being more similar to MW 2019, which was what it was. So it was kills, headshots, kills
Mounted.
with no attachments, kills with 5 attachments, maybe was one of them. So that's like easy.
Those are fun.
Mounted ended up being really easy. We didn't like doing it at the time.
It's dumb, but it's
I
not
would
hard,
much rather do that than anything from Vanguard. What were the other ones? Like crouched or prone kills? That's pretty simple.
Crouch kills, yeah.
Crouch kills.
Headshots was one of them.
Kills without dying.
Yes, which is great.
That's fair.
A good camo.
Yeah, see, like none of those so far. The worst thing in MW 2019 was like the mounted kills. It's crazy to think about that now. And then Vanguard, yeah, you have some fucking like grenade launcher thing you hold that you have to get like 30 triple kills with. I'm like, bro, really?
Insane.
I know you can like cheese it and like get a kill with your gun and then pull it out real quick and get 2 more kills, but it's like, dude, no, just stop, man.
For most
Holy
of the guns,
shit.
the MW camos were fine. Like the ARs, yeah, those were all like good enough. They were close enough to their intended use that it was fine. But the launchers were dumb. The riot shield was insane too. Getting double kills with a riot shield, that's not why people run riot shields. There were really bad challenges too. Or get knife kills while injured. That was such a stupid challenge.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That was so stupid. And you'd have to end up thermiting yourself in hardcore so that you stay like one shot and then knife people. It's so dumb. Dumb camos. So MW wasn't perfect, but it was better than Cold War and Vanguard for sure.
Yeah, and MW, like the guns weren't bad. Like the ARs and SMGs were pretty good. Yeah,
Correct.
they were fine.
They were fine.
You're right though. Once it got to like the right shield, dude, doing double kills. I think that was the last thing that I had to do to get Damascus was do like the double kills with the riot shield. Oh my god, it was annoying.
So toxic.
But you know what you had to do is just keep doing bad and stay in those lobbies because skill-based matchmaking keeps throwing you go fucking 1 in 30 and you just do that a few times in a row and eventually you're in a lot worse lobbies where it gets easier
into a double killable lobby.
It's literally unintended reverse boosting. Yeah
you're right. Yeah, I remember you telling me this because you said to me at one point you would like get like the MP7 gold and then you'd be like, all right, I'm gonna get a few riot shield double kills and then I'm going to go work on the MP5.
Yeah.
And then you'd get 0. And then you would like mauled or whatever. And then I remember you eventually like messaged me or told me or something. He was like, dude, I figured it out. You can't do that. You have to stay with the riot shield until you're done because you're going to be doing so bad that the challenges will be doable.
Yeah. And it's a miserable experience, but it was easier than going back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah. The worst. So anyway, none. Nicole, if you were forced to camp on Caldera, what would be the spot? Oh, this is easy.
Is it easy?
Yes.
What's your spot?
Arsenal where the chopper spawns, that rooftop. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Arsenal proper. If it is, it's the southernmost point of Arsenal. But it's the very popular
Arsenal
building,
proper, isn't it?
Say again?
It's that. No, I'm thinking of Subpen.
Oh, yeah, no. It's on the north of the map. Every single time we go to that building, someone's on the roof. For good reason.
Why can I not think of the building?
Yeah, I don't know how you can't think of the building. Here, I'll
the one they're always on the roof?
Here, scroll. Look in our notes. Look at the Warzone map.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Okay, look at Sector B.
Yeah.
Wait, no, Sector A. The dot to the bottom left of Sector A.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking docks. Okay, that is a good building. That is a very good building. Yeah.
That's the spot.
It's that's not H, is it? Is that H building?
H
that
is
maybe
in
H.
Airfield. H is in Airfield.
No. What's that one at Arsenal called?
I don't know if there's a name for it. There might be.
But yeah, it's the one everyone gets on top of. Yeah. It's the one where there's like the sunroof too, or there's the glass on the roof so you can shoot it and jump down. That is a good building because if you get like hit with an airstrike or something, you can just go inside.
Mm-hmm.
But there are a lot of ways up there, honestly. especially with balloons.
There are. True.
Best place to camp, man.
But if you get on where the windows are, then there's only 2 ladders up. So even if you're playing solos, you could claymore them both, and then you're good. Unless someone parachutes onto you, then you'll never hear them and die before their feet touch the ground. But there's no getting around that, so.
Yeah. I kind of think just honestly airfield tower or something.
Airfield tower is a good one too.
I don't know. I literally don't know camping spots because I don't play that way. It's kind of hard to think of some even.
Next from Nicole.
Towers are always solid though.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Camping is not what we do.
Yeah, fuck you, Nicole Camper.
Bitch.
Jesus, man, are you serious?
Next, Nicole asks, who's your fuck, marry, kill for female operators? Implying we know. Well, maybe Tanner does, but I don't know.
Don't like Mara? I thought you were a big Mara stan.
Sure.
Mara, Iskra.
I mean, they're all hot, right?
they're all females for sure. They are female operators.
Well, they're in such good physical condition that they're special operators. They're gonna all be like fairly attractive, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know the female operators well enough.
I can't think of enough of them, yeah.
Who's the time traveler smuggling people across the North Korean border before it existed? She's my Mary, because I want a literal superhero, comic book hero, to have my children so that they inherit superpowers too. So they can time travel also. She's my Mary. So,
got it.
My fuck is Mara. And then my kill is Rose, so that I don't have to see that skin anymore because I'm over it. That's mine.
Interesting.
That's mine.
I think my Mary at least would be Iskra with the kitty cat outfit.
Huh.
Good for me.
That would be good for you, huh?
Probably Mara's the fuck, yeah. Kill every other one. It's fine by me.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
Kill all the females.
Too bad it wasn't for just operators, because that would be a totally different list if you didn't make it female.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nicole again. I've only ever played Warzone, BO4, and Vanguard. In your opinion, am I missing out on anything big by not purchasing old CoD multiplayers?
Wait, so you've never played MW 2019?
I think that's... Well, yeah, that's a good question. I guess you wouldn't have had to.
That's insane. Wow. Are you missing out? You're not missing out on anything now. No, there's no people that buy old COD games now to go back and play. No, you're insane. There's no reason to.
Yeah, you're
there's
missing
no reason to go back and play any of those. You're not missing anything. Yeah. You're missing playing those at the time when they were popular, but you're not missing anything now because none of them are good games now. It's all nostalgia. Not a single old COD is a good game now. Don't care what you say. Go back and play MW2 then. If the servers were populated and you can go back and play it, you'd be bored within 10 hours. Got it.
Oh. Max.
And you'd be bitching about how unbalanced it is. It's all nostalgia. The games weren't good.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So no, don't play old CODs. Especially the multiplayers. You wouldn't even find lobbies. I bought this was like a year or two ago. I bought one of the jetpack CODs. The newest jetpack COD. What's that one? Advanced Warfare?
I
always get jetpack COD was the absolute newest one. I bought that for $100 or however much it fucking costed 5 years after it released. Cool, sick company. And then I got into the game. I set up all my settings. Took me, 10 minutes. And then I queued for multiplayer. Did not get a pop at all. And then I got a Steam refund. Cool. So, like, you probably can't even play many of these games anymore. There's probably literally no lobbies. So.
Yeah, no, there's not.
On console, there's probably more, but still. Anyway.
It's funny because you can probably find more lobbies on PC. Well, definitely in the older COD games, even that had server browsers.
Oh yeah, for
sure. You could probably find a lobby easier in COD 1, 2, or 4 on PC than you could like that era of COD when PC was dead for COD, which was like like what you're saying, Infinite Warfare, Advanced Warfare, like games in that time were not popular on PC whatsoever. And I don't think they had server browsers. I'm not positive, but I don't think any of those did. Yeah.
At least not the one I played, yeah.
So you can load up COD 2 right now, I guarantee, and find servers. They're probably like modded and weird shit though and high ping, but you can play. Yeah,
like I was able to play BO1 and BO2. Well, I don't know about BO2. I don't remember that one actually. But I reinstalled BO1 and I played that for a while because there was a server browser.
They're also probably full of cheaters.
Probably.
It's probably like all the cheaters at this point.
Yeah, probably. So anyway. All right, what do we got next here? Biggie Smalls. When watching streamers, I constantly see them complain about dying because of Ghost. Oh, interesting. Does this mean that Ghost is actually back in the perk meta, considering it gets people much better than me killed what seems like every match they play? Interesting question.
I think people are complaining more because, well, one, it's ground loot now, so you can find it ground loot with the perks. But two, I think it's because so many people got away from it early on in Caldera. Not a whole lot of people ran it, so you got used to seeing everyone when you popped a UAV. Back in Verdansk, there could be 100 people up. You could pop a UAV in the most populated area, and 2 people would ping on the minimap. So you got used to just never knowing where anyone was. We kind of got spoiled early Caldera. They nerfed Ghost, so it only worked when you're moving. It only hid you when you're moving. Most people stopped running it. You got used to seeing the whole lobby on a UAV, and then now that it's back in ground loot, and they've nerfed things like restock, they've nerfed stims, so more people are, less people are running restock and more people are going back to Ghost now. Then you're seeing it more and more, and so people are just starting to bitch about it more because they got so used to not having to deal with it. And I agree. I would rather Ghost not be in the game at all. Get the perk out of the fucking game. Mm-hmm. It has never once belonged in Warzone, should have never been put in Warzone, but it's because it was just a direct port from MW 2019. It was a side mode. It was never intended to be its own game mode going forward, and here we are, and that's why we still have Ghost in the game.
Yeah.
And that's hopefully another thing they're not doing with Warzone 2. Hopefully we have Warzone specific perks on launch rather than just porting perks straight over from multiplayer, and they do something a little bit different. And that's something I do think we'll get. An entire new perk list. We'll definitely get perks that are also in MW2 100%. Probably most of the perks will be from MW2, but there will be Warzone 2 specific perks that we don't have in multiplayer.
I agree. 100%.
And hopefully Ghost is not anywhere on that list.
Yeah, there will be Ghost in Warzone 2. Unfortunately. As much as I don't want it to be the case, there almost certainly will be. I can't imagine them not doing it. But I could be wrong. I hope I am, but I don't know. So the reason streamers are dying because of Ghost, so you're way more likely to die to a ghosted team right now than you were a year ago, because a year ago you expected people to be ghosted around you. Now you don't. So when you call a UAV, you're lulled into this false sense of security when you don't see anyone. And then when there is a ghosted team, you were very much not expecting them to be there, and they caught you in a really dog shit position. Whereas in Verdansk, when everyone was running Ghost, you would call a UAV, but you would always be like, people run Ghost. There's probably a ghosted team around here somewhere. We need to be careful. So, is it worth running? No. Is it worth picking up? Duh. Is it good? Yes. Again, is it worth running though? Probably not. I mean, I haven't tried it again, so maybe, but I don't know. I'd have to try it, honestly. Maybe it is. It depends on the movement threshold, how much you have to move or whatever. But we do be moving all the time. So we would be off UAV often.
Yeah.
So maybe it is the play. It's possible. I think it depends on how much you move your character. But I think it's, you know what? I think it's probably worth a try. Actually, yeah. Yeah, but the reason streamers are dying to Ghost more than they used to is, it's way more surprising to see a ghosted team now than it used to be because people got off Ghost. I think that's what's going on there. So
Exactly, yeah. I was right, by the way. We got a live response from Grim about how he disliked the officers coming straight out of school.
Oh, really?
I told you. Yeah.
Give us the comment.
He said we called them boot tenants. A boot is a new guy or a guy who hasn't seen combat. They would chase medals and try to plan all these crazy ass missions and put themselves in for awards. While the 18 and 19-year-old Lance Corporals like Grim are getting shit on to pave the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
Yeah,
That's what they do. They come straight out of college. Don't know any real combat, but they're the ones telling people what to do. It really doesn't make any sense when you think about it. It makes zero fucking sense.
I agree. If you're an officer in the military, unsubscribe from this podcast. What are your thoughts on that?
You're a piece of shit, probably.
Just kidding. All right, next. Sleek Easy asks. I have a semi-decent topic for you fellas. Got it? Let's see. Since it's no secret, Resurgence got super popular toward the latter half of Warzone 1. Do you think Warzone 2 will try to make the gameplay more of a hybrid between Resurgence and regular BR? Or will they keep the experiences mostly separate?
Do you think Warzone 2? I don't see why they would. I mean, it's like we've talked about this too. It's like people that like Warzone don't like traditional BRs often. That's why COD Warzone was so popular. If it was like a traditional BR, none of the COD community would have absolutely hated it. So that's why Resurgence is so popular, and will probably continue to be more popular. If Warzone 2 launches with a Resurgence map as well, a BR map and a Resurgence map, Resurgence off the rip, I'm calling it now, will be way more popular. Because that's what people want. They want to play multiplayer Warzone. That's all it is. They want to play Respawn where they can do whatever they want, get TikTok content, just make crazy plays, get into the action real quick. And I understand it. It's not for me, but I understand why people like it because it's so much faster pace and it's just brainless. You can just turn it off, you turn the game on, run around, shoot. It's like doesn't require any strategy, any thinking at all. And that's the COD community. They like brainless multiplayer first-person shooter. That's why you started playing COD, because it's the easiest first-person shooter game to pick up. True. So, no, I don't think they're going to make it like some sort of hybrid. I think they're going to keep them separate if they were smart, because people that like BR are more likely to just play Warzone and play traditional BR in Warzone, and the COD community that likes Rebirth and Fortune's Keep want to play Resurgence only. They don't actually care about Warzone. They want to play like the Resurgence game mode. So I don't think they would ever make a hybrid. I think they need to keep them separate because certain people want to play certain game modes.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't think Warzone 2 should try to hybridize Resurgence and regular BR, and nor do I think they will, because that would be a big mistake. People who like Resurgence. People who like BR. No one would like a hybrid. The Resurgence players wouldn't like the BR elements. The BR players wouldn't like the Resurgence elements. And it would just make everyone unhappy. This is not the way to go at all. And I wouldn't see the benefit of doing that at all. I think they'll keep them separate, and I think they should. Yeah. I mean, we kind of already have that mode, but it's just not Warzone. It's like Plunder or even Vanguard Royale, kind of. These were kind of hybrids between the two, and they're so unpopular, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think they should keep them separate, and they will. Thanatos, do you think they will ever bring back the Warzone maps to Warzone 2 as a throwback or whatever later on in the game?
No.
Certainly
not before Warzone 2 comes out. I do kind of have a thought that maybe down the line, maybe sometime like next year, when Warzone 1 is out and Warzone 2 is out, honestly, maybe that'd be the only time I could see them possibly doing something where they add Verdansk back to Warzone 1 and there's like a map rotation. But then at the same time, it's like, well, why would they do that when they would rather have people playing the new game, you know?
I think he's asking if they would add Verdansk to Warzone 2.
No,
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I don't either.
I mean, they, maybe, because they're building this from the ground up, all on like one unified engine. So the supposed issue that they had said was they can't add it now because the file size is too large. But I mean, if they think about stuff like that going into Warzone 2, which I'm sure they had adding maps in the future, it's probably going to be a more simplified process. So there's a chance. I mean, there's a better chance we do get, yeah, when you think about it that way, in Warzone 2 than Warzone 1, actually.
I think it depends on if Warzone 2 is going to support more than one Warzone map at a time. So, like, we've never seen that. We've had Verdansk only as for traditional BR, and then we had Verdansk 84 only, and then we had Caldera only. So if in Warzone 2 they have the new map, and then they add a second map and they're both playable at the same time, then that means they are willing to have multiple maps playable at the same time. Then I could see them bringing back Verdansk as one of the options. But are they going to scrap one of their new maps and then only have Verdansk be playable on Warzone 2? Definitely, 100% no. Never.
Yeah, no.
Never.
The other thing, though, is if Warzone 2 plays different with like stronghold systems, then yeah, actually, I mean, how would they bring back Verdansk? They'd have to redo it so there's like stronghold setup and whatnot. And at that point, just design me a new map. Because you wouldn't be able to just port it over if the game plays entirely different, you know?
Yeah, that's true too. I mean, they could make like certain buildings into, like, hospital becomes a stronghold. Yeah. For example, you know, they could do that. But yeah, it would just depend on if they allow for multiple maps at all. If they do, I could see them remastering a map, and I would like it, honestly. If there were like 2 original maps and then also Verdansk, that'd be cool. That's like multiplayer every year. CoD is down to remaster classics. They've done it before in fucking every CoD game for 10 years. You know, they'll remaster Nuketown and Shipment and Vacant and stuff. And I enjoy that. I like that a lot. So I could see them doing it for Warzone, again, if they allow for multiple maps at the same time. But they're never going to replace their original map and only let you play Caldera or Verdansk on Warzone 2. That'll never happen. Next, Steel Switch asks, what's more important to have in a burr? Any method of fast travel or having the ability to bring back a team member? Neither. Neither is important to have in a BR. You don't need fast travel to make a good BR, nor do you need the ability to bring back team members to make a good BR, probably. If I was a BR purist anyway. However, for Warzone and for the Call of Duty community and for this player base, what would be more important between those two? Bringing back teammates, for sure. Because you can always just walk, but Warzone will never not have the ability to bring your teammates back, ever. But I could see them not having fast travel if there are plenty of vehicles on the map and it's easy to get around that way.
Yeah, I like being, out of all the methods to come back in Warzone, buying your teammates back is the one that needs to stay. Self-res can go, the 2 different tokens can go, the gulag can go, but buying your teammate back, I think, is the one thing that they do have right in that aspect. So that absolutely has to stay. Fast travel, I mean, yeah, I get it out of the game, of course. Get it out of there now. Remove it from Caldera right now, actually.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's really rewarding feeling when you're the last one alive and there's still, you know, the lobby still has between 40 and 60 people left, and you can land somewhere, buy all your teammates back, get reset, and you come back and win that game. Like, you did earn that, you know. Whereas finding a random token on the ground and then redeploying as soon as you die without having to go to a gulag, or dying and going to a gulag, it's just all unnecessary, dumb, cringe. But buying your teammate back is like the actual, I think, rewarding part when you can pull that off.
I agree. Because it's not trivial to do. Like, you have to loot enough money to do it, first of all. And you might say, oh, well, you just run and pick up items. That's not hard. You shouldn't get rewarded for that. It's like, okay, but there are like other people on the map that'll kill you if they see you. So like it's dangerous to go looting for cash. And then it's especially dangerous to go to a buy station and buy your teammates back. Buy stations are camped. Buy stations are visited. People know that other people like going to buy stations. Like it's dangerous doing that. So like that, you should, like get rewarded for that. That's a good mechanic. And for how casual Call of Duty is, you should be able to buy people back. This isn't PUBG. Like you need to be able to get your teammates back. So I would say that's way more important than fast travel. Even if you are including balloons, I think it's more important than fast travel. If you're including vehicles, I still think it's more important than fast travel, but we also really need vehicles. So, I don't know. Anyway. Last question, also from Steel Switch. Should dropped loot be in a death box like in Apex Legends, or just spilled out on the ground like it is now?
I think spilled out is easier and more simplified, but there's so many times where there's so many items stacked on top of each other, which makes me want like the loot box portion of it, death box, but maybe some sort of hybrid where like the items are in a box, but if you run over the box, you automatically refill armor and plates. You just don't physically see them on the ground, but then you also can open up the box and I guess look at like their guns or lethal stuff that wouldn't auto pick up like it does now. I think that could be an interesting system because so many times now, if there's like 2 or 3 bodies in a spot, you'll be trying to grab an item. How many times you press the use button, trying to pick something, you keep picking up the wrong thing. It just doesn't work.
I think the best thing they could do is the fucking PUBG system where when you have your backpack open, if something is within arm's length, it'll say like in area, these items are on the ground or whatever. You know what I'm talking about, Tanner?
Say that again.
So like I kill you in PUBG because you're dog shit, and then I'm standing on top of your body and I open my backpack. And on that screen with my backpack, it also shows everything on the ground that's close to me. Oh, because it's
proximity. Yeah, exactly.
Like proximity. I think that's better
like
than
you press
both.
tab and it pulls up your inventory. That's how H1Z1 was too. It dropped in a bag, but it was all proximity.
That would be ideal, I think, because the death box looks dumb. It's a stupid looking thing that's ugly and I don't like it. So I like thematically, I like when your guy just drops all his shit on the ground, but also it's a disaster to pick those things up. So give me the proximity loot thing so I can just drag the thing I want into my inventory or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's the best solution, honestly.
Yeah. Having it on the ground.
What a death box accomplishes, doesn't it?
Or there needs to be, it's probably maybe difficult to code. It needs to be like if 2 people die in one spot, the items just like drop on top of each other. Like they need to like drop in other areas, spread them out. But obviously that's probably hard to make the game do. Mm-hmm. It's like not drop on top of other items. It'd be all spread out weird. Yeah. So I get it. But I mean, again, the last time we were playing, I was staring like at a gun trying to pick it up, and it said on my screen like press F or whatever to pick this gun up, and I would start pressing it and it would start opening up the loadout drop that was right next to us. I was like, dude, don't have this on my screen saying I'm going to pick up this weapon, and then I start pressing the button and it starts opening the loadout that's a foot behind me and I'm not facing. That's always been a major criticism of Warzone. That's never gone away. True. Ever. If you park a car next to a buy station, you jump out real quick and you're staring at the buy station and press the interact button, see ya, you're hopping back in that car unintended, even though you're not facing it. It makes no sense.
Yep.
Give me that change, Ted. Fix that issue that's been in since day one.
Yeah. Or just make it an option like a priority list when you press F. It's like, okay, if you're right next to a loadout, a buy station, and a vehicle, and you press F, what do you want your character to do first? Give me that in the option menu. Or just make it better so that whatever I'm fucking looking at is what I interact with. Let's do that. That's ideal. But yeah, I think proximity loot would accomplish everything a death box accomplishes without looking disgusting. Because the death boxes are so fucking ugly and out of place and gross.
Well, and you're thinking of Apex.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I mean, think of CoD wouldn't design it that way. It'd look like probably like a small munitions box.
Like a little Duffy.
No, not a Duffy. Why are you thinking of Duffy?
Any Duffies?
Jesus Christ.
Because there's guns in it. There's not going to be guns in a Muni, but you could fit a gun in a Duffy. I've done it before, in fact.
You can fit a tank battery in a duffel bag.
I landed at LAX and I hated the experience so much I put a gun in a Duffy and drove back.
Got it.
I didn't actually do that. That's a joke, obviously. That's a joke, obviously, and also I live in California, so if you think I could even get a gun, you're out of your mind.
And also, you haven't been to LAX in 15 years, so...
Thank God for that, yeah. Yeah. I support people putting guns in Duffys and going to LAX, let me be clear, but I haven't done it myself, no. No. So, that also a joke, by the way. I'm not a stochastic terrorist. All right. That's it. We're done. Any reminders or announcements we need to make? Tanner Dropshot? At Tanner Dropshot
Damascus Hangout will be next weekend for sure. We'll let you guys know. It'll be the 22nd or 23rd. Gonna look into Fall Guys on Monday, see how that works. If not, maybe Rocket League again. We'll figure something out. Rocket League was a ton of fun though, and if people want that, maybe let's run a vote: Fall Guys or Rocket League. See what people want to do, because a lot of people want to play Rocket League last month and couldn't make it.
Both.
We could fuck around and do both. Yeah,
start with some Fall Guys. Because here's the thing: Fall Guys we're gonna get bored of sooner than Rocket League, so we could play Fall Guys till we're bored of it, and then go play some Rocket League for the hangout.
I agree. Nicole says do the 23rd. We've been liking Saturday nights better than Friday nights. Anyways, it probably will be the 23rd.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it'll probably
so yeah, we'll let you guys know on that. If you want to, we'll post it on the schedule. Follow us at the Dropshot Pod on Twitter. We post our schedule as our pinned tweet every week. So when we go live, when we're doing gameplay streams, when we're doing Damascus Hangouts, we'll have some more Patreon episodes for you coming up soon. And yeah, join the Discord as well. We post the events there as well. We get questions from Discord. We chat on Discord. We do all kinds of things. So join the fucking Discord. That is it. Patreon.com/thedropshot is the best way to support the show. 7 bonus episodes per month, monthly hangouts, and more. Check it out. Patreon.com/thedropshot for more details. Best way to support the program. We love and appreciate, our patrons. That's it. Thank you all for watching and listening. Have an excellent evening, of course. And as always, remember, stay humble.
Stay humble.